Hey YouTube, this is Prince from Desi Programmer. Welcome back to another exciting Flutter tutorial. And I call this exciting because in this tutorial we are going to explore the app bar. Well, obviously I have been using this app bar in almost all the videos that we have had yet, and we just gave it a single property that was title, which used to have a text widget which displayed some text. Now this code is not something that I'm building in this video itself because I don't want to waste time by showing you that how am I creating a project, how am I building it and all, because that's something easy. We just imported it, had our main function which returned an app where I have a material app. It has a title, theme, home, and the home is a stateful widget where I have just returned a scaffold which has an app bar which displays a text which says app bar itself. Now I'll just give this a property of debug so checked mode banner to false. I'll save this and now you see that this disappears. Anyway, let's move here and let's talk about Appbar. And before I begin, let me tell you one thing that I don't ask you to subscribe to my channel and all, but if you guys are loving this series, do let me know. So I have an app bar where I just used to show some text, but our app bar has many other properties. Properties like a leading icon, action widgets, a bottom navigation bar, and many such. So let's talk about all of them one by one. The first one that I would like to talk about is this text theme. Now this text theme says what is the theme of the text that's going to appear in the title bar. But obviously I don't think I need to discuss this because I have already discussed how we can apply styling to our text by just using this style property of a text widget, and they both will do almost the same job. And there are many other properties which you will see here, like this background color, things like opacity, center title, elevation, and so on, which actually are very clear to their meaning. Just for an example, center title as itself it says, I have already told you how you can see what it accepts. The center title accepts a boolean, and if I say that it's true, then now the title will be at my center. Pretty simple. We have background color, and if I set my background color to colors dot red, now the background color will be red. So these are the things that you already know, and you don't want to waste time by explaining these things which actually don't mean much and anybody can just learn them. But let's talk about something important, and I'm going to talk about, first of all, I'm going to talk about this leading. Now what actually this leading is? This leading is actually a widget, any widget that's displayed before the title. A single widget can be displayed before the title. And let me tell you what people use the most. Most of the time people use an icon button. Come on, it's an icon button. People say that I'm using an icon button which accepts an icon which is going to be icons, come on, dot menu, not memory, menu. And now you can see that this is the menu icon that we got. It may not look very exciting, but that's okay. We are going to fix that soon. How we do that? So we give it an on press property. Cool, save it, looking good. So hey, this is a menu icon, and to be honest, you can drag a drawer from the side by just pressing on this menu icon, but we can't do that now. We won't do that in this video because this drawer is a property of the scaffold, which we will talk about in the next video, not in this video at least. So yeah, I just told you how you can give this leading button which will do something if you give it a on press property. And it could be any widget. Sometimes people use an inkwell with an icon, but that's all up to you. An icon button actually works fine in almost many simple situations. Well, after this we have this another property, and to be honest, as I'm telling you, I don't remember all of them. I just read here and I understand what I have to use. So here is this title spacing, and it says how much spacing do you want to provide between this leading and the title. If I tell it to be something like 20.0, let's see what happens. See, it moves. If I tell it to be like 40.0, see, it moves even further. So this title spacing you can use to make sure that if you want some spacing or more spacing between this leading and the app bar. If you want the less spacing, just keep it to 0.0 and your job is done. Anyway, next important thing after this leading and title, what is that? Well, that is an action widget. What action widget actually does? So these are the list of widgets that are displayed at this end. And if I give this any widget, let's say for now I'm saying an icon button, and if this icon button implements some on press property which we are setting to null and void, that's completely okay. And I have an icon, and let's say that this is an icon which is icons dot, come on, icons, icons dot, and I'm calling this nav horizontal. Maybe I don't remember what exactly that was, but it was something with horizontal. Okay, it's more horizontal and vertical. If I say horizontal, this is how it looks. So obviously we have to use vertical, more vertical, and this is how it looks. And you guys might have seen this in many applications, and that's how we implement them. You can give more of them if you want. Like if I just copy this entire code, if I paste it here, and then I'm saying this is not more vertical, this is like search, then this is how it looks. And if you want this spacing to be less, like icon buttons have their own spacing, but if you want this spacing to be less, then what we do is that we keep them in a inkwell, and then in the inkwells we give a child, and that child we keep them as a sized box, and in the size box we give it another child which will be an icon, and those icons will be icons dot, let's say, search. And now if I save this, you will see that it seems pretty closer, and not just closer, I can even give this some width and make it go farther, like let's say 40.0. I don't think it should be too farther. See, it's going far. If I can make it like 100, it will become more far. So that's how we can use this. And if you're worrying about how to implement the on press, then inkwell gives us many more properties such as on single tap, on double tap, highlight change, long press, and so much and so on. But you can simply use this on tap and on tap cancel, which will just do the job. And here, that's how you implement a inkwell. On tap will give you something, but obviously since we are using a sized box, this is the complete size 100. But anyway, that's how you implement this. But just as I was creating this, you guys might be wondering about something, and that's something that we are going to do this in this video, which will take reasonable time, and that is how to implement a search bar within the app bar. This is an interesting topic that most of the people search, ask, and Google on. That's how can implement a search bar right here. You click on this button and you get a search bar. And I will be doing this at the end because that's something huge. I need to explain a lot. But before I do that, let me talk about some more properties of this app bar. Another interesting one property is this bottom. Amazing one. This bottom extends the app bar size, and not just that, it gives us many other options. Like you can use a tab bar which will implement a tab navigation, or you can use this preferred size widget because it should have a preferred sized, and I'm saying that I have a preferred sized, which is size, and we have to give some width and height, but to be honest the width won't make much effect. But anyway, let's give some width. This height is something that will make effect, so I will say height is 50. Let's save it, and hey, we have an error. And why is it so? Actually, we have to give it a child. Let's say the child is a container. Now if I save this, we have no error. So it says that hey, the bottom it's some preferred sized, it had some size that it will prefer to adopt itself, and in that preferred size we have a container. Now again, you're on your own to use this container. You can give a row, a column, and whatever you want, but I won't talk much about that in this video because this is not how you create a tabbed activity. And if you want to create a tabbed navigation bar, then that again takes reasonable amount of time, explanation, as well as code. So that's something I'll be doing in next video, not right now, but in this video let's just implement a search bar within this app bar. And again, I just apologize for forgetting this simple yet important property, that's elevation. And you can set some elevation, it accepts a double, and this will just give your app bar an elevation. If you can just look at this, I think you should be able to see that we have some elevation from our app bar. If you can see, then that's okay. If you can, then now if I just get rid of this, let me just save now, and you can see that now it appears to be merging. Well, let's move forward and let's try to implement this search bar within this app bar. And for that, I will get rid of this bottom two because I want it to look as simple as it can. So how do I actually do that? Now there's two things. First thing is that we don't want a search bar by default. We click on this icon button and we get a search bar, which means that this icon button, or whether it's an inkwell or anything in your case, for my case it's an icon button. So I'm saying that when this icon button is pressed, I want a search bar. Now how our search bar will appear is something like you click on this icon button, you get a search bar, and there this icon button should change to something else. You click back on that and everything goes back to its normal position. Now since this area is already crowded by multiple widgets, placing a widget after the app bar is not actually possible. Why? Because our app bar has simple properties. It doesn't has a child where I can just say that hey, accept a row and do our job. So how do we deal with that? Actually, I came up with an idea and it was not my own personal idea. Like I just got some code from here and there, read some documentation, and I thought that this is an easy as well as a simple way of implementing a search bar within an app bar. So what do? I have a widget that's an app bar. Like actually when I was here, I was looking at this title. It says that it accepts a widget title. Now what that means is that this title need not to be a text widget. It could be anything. When you come here on action, it says that we accept a list of visit, which again mean here we can give any visit. And that's what this title says, that you can give any visit. So what I thought that let's say that you click on this icon button and this widget, which is a text widget, should change to an text input, or we call that as input text. I don't remember what we call that as in Flutter, but anyway, let's try to implement that. And for that we need two things. The first thing is that these two should be variable, then and only then we can change them. If these are constant like this, then we can't change them. So first of all, we will have to make them as variable. The first one is actually very easy. I know it will be an icon. Actually this one is very easy, it will be an icon, but this one is something that you have to understand. So first one is going to be an icon, and I'm calling this as custom icon. I won't say custom, I will just say cus icon, which is going to be an icon. Remember, it will be an icon where it is icons dot search. By default, this is the property that we're going to have, and I'm saying that this custom icon is something that I want to use right in here. So my icon is going to be a custom icon. No change detected. Pretty cool. But here I can't just say some text widget, because if I say a text widget and a variable, then that variable will be of kind of text widget, which means we can change, but we can only change this variable, or maybe that we can only change the style and so on. But I don't just want to change the style, I want to change the entire widget. Well, in that case, we create a variable of the type widget itself. Yeah, I can say widget space, and let's say custom text, or let's say custom search bar, and now this can be any widget. Right now I'm saying that this is a text widget which says app bar. If I save this again, there's not going to be any effect. Now I have to just copy this, and in my title I'm going to pass this widget. Come on, let me just save it, and now no changes detected. I just kept the B as capital, and you can see that B is now capital. Now comes the most important part. So somebody just pressed this, and now here some code is going to be written, and what that code is going to be. So I'm going to make some state change in my framework, in my app. So first of all, I will have to call this set state function, and what this function does. So here, first of all, I'm going to do a simple job. We will check what this icon is. If this icon is search, which means I want to show a search bar here, a text input field here. And if that's not a search, if that's a cancel or anything else, then we are going to show this app bar widget. So what I'm saying is that if, and where does this icon come from? So this icon comes from custom icon, and this custom icon is from this context. So it will be good to say that if this dot custom icon, come on, dot icon is equal to, and the icon right now is icons dot search. So if we have a search icon, I want to do something, and else if we don't have a search icon, if we have a different icon, we want to do something else. So if we have a search icon, it's pretty clear that we want to show a text field right here. So I will say that first of all, just change this icon to something else, and that is if change this dot custom icon to a new icon, which is going to be icons dot cancel. And then I'm saying now, come on, okay, I'm sorry, these are going to be valid dart statements. And then I'm saying change the widget title, which is custom search bar, with a new widget. Now since it's a widget, it can take any widget. I'm saying it's going to be a text field, And here in my text field, I'm going to pass some properties. Remember, don't put a comma, it should have a semicolon. Now here, first of all, I'm going to say that there's going to be some style. And actually, before I do them, let me show you why I want them. Let's save them. Let's click on this. Now you see it changes. We get a cut, but we get a text input. But the problem is, I click on this, nothing happens. And here, you see that we have this ugly black. Okay, it's not right now, but you will see it later. If I just use this else code, I hope you guys remember that you saw there was an ugly black lining right here, which I don't want, and also the text is in black color, which I don't want. So let me just get rid of both of them right now, which is I want to give it a style, which is going to be some text style. Come on, it's going to be some text style where I'm saying change the color to colors dot white and make the font size like 16.0 will fit right now. And I can give a decoration which will just get rid of the underline, which I don't want as of now, but I want this one thing which says text input action, and this should be text input action dot go, which means you have done the job, let's go. But in the else case, I want to do something else. Like if this is not the search icon, which is our way of saying that if this icon is a cancel icon, then let's reset everything back. And how do we do that? Well, we just go here, we copy this both line of code, we come back here, we paste it. Okay, I give some spacing, but instead of redeclaring, we just say that this dot custom icon should change back to that particular element, and this, come on, this dot search bar should change back to the text. Now if I just reload it once again, see, I click on this and it changes back. Let's see once again what's happening. I click on this search bar, we get a search bar, there is an ugly black underlining, but if we click again, we get rid of that. One more thing, if we search something, just click on this and again the keyboard disappears. And if you want to get rid of that, that's actually very easy. We can give a decoration which will be an input decoration where I'm saying that the border is going to be input border dot none. Let's save it. And now if I click again, you will see that there is no dark background kind of stuff. You can again give some hint text as well, like you can easily give some hint text, and these all properties still reside because that's how they are. This is a text input text field widget which will retain all its properties if we are using it. So let's say the hint text says search term, just to show you guys that it's working. And see, it says search term, again give hint text styling it, and it will be in white, red, black, or whatever color you want. But I think that's enough in this video. Come on, if I click on this, you get a search bar, you can enter some data, click on this button, it will close itself, click on this button and you are good to go. And actually that go should have its own action, but that's not needed as of now because that we can work with when we actually have to see how to get the data which we are fetching here. But that's again simple, you can just use here the changed property that we have, and we have a leading button, some action buttons which can again do their own job in a very precise manner. Now there's something that I'm leaving in this video that's talking about this bottom navigation, and I won't talk about that in this video because this video is already around of 20 minutes, and that is something which again where I will have to again get rid of this entire code, because if I implement this with this code then it will be very confusing for you guys. So let's talk about that in some other video, and to be honest we will talk about that practically while creating some project rather than just theoretically discussing about more properties. But one more video might be coming about this theoretical and practical discussion of properties, which will be scaffold, where we'll be creating a bottom navigation bar, not drawer, just a bottom navigation bar. But till then, keep coding, keep loving, keep sharing, and do let me know if you're loving this series.